Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to New Hampshire Speedway, here with the Icon Cup Series on Sunday night on Sim Racing Media. As always, I am Shane Cochran. With me in the booth tonight is Alan Bergen. Alan, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. We are here in New Hampshire, the Magic Mile, as they call it. I am excited. We have 201 laps here of heart-pounding action. This is a flat track. It's one track that's hard to get a hold of, but nonetheless, once you figure it out, it's a really fun place to drive.
Yeah, it really is. Not a lot of banking, but a lot of driving lines, a lot of opportunities to maybe throw your elbows out, get into the guy next to you, and then push him up into out of the racing groove so you can get a pass done. We're about 5 minutes out from racing here as warm-up is concluding. Take a look at the Icon Cup schedule. We are deep into the playoffs now here in the third race of the round of 12 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So this is a cutoff race, Alan. 201 laps. We got stages at 40 and 110. And we've got a couple drivers that are safe and a lot of drivers that need some luck to get it done here tonight. As we take a look now at our point standings, we've got three drivers that are safe. Jacob Smith and Ryan Patty have both scored wins in this round, and Brian Smith has clinched on points. He did sweep the round of 16 with 3 wins in a row, so a lot of point buffer there for the 78. But then behind him, it's Nathan Finnegan. Big story here in the playoffs, as Finnegan was wrecked out early in last week's race. He actually had to claim 3 cautions, which is parking per the rules. So he did not really get to turn many laps last week, and he is, as I understand it, not able to make the race this week. So he comes in 31 points above the cut line. And I think if all these drivers below him have a decent night, they are probably going to pick up enough stage points and points at the end to pass him. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And then Patrick Colby, Braxton DeWeese, Chuck Van Schaik, and Kyle Purcell, all double-digit points over the cut line coming into this one. And then the 4 drivers below the cut line at the start of the race is going to be Cody Neal, John McNeil, Michael Taylor, and Jonathan Duncan. Taylor and Duncan, 32 and 48 points below the cut line, respectively. They are going to need, it's probably not a must win, but they're going to need to finish top 2 in both stages and the end of the race or something like that to make up that many points, because all those drivers around them are also going to be scoring stage points as the race goes on. Duncan probably in a must win. So keep an eye on that 13 car, the 08, the 48, and the 38. They're the drivers with their backs against the wall. Really going to have to show us what they've got tonight to get going. As we take a look at our race information. Yeah, this is race number 30. Man, it seems like just yesterday we started this season, but this is 30 weeks in. The final race here in the round of 12. 201 laps. Stages at 40 and 110, as we mentioned. And as always, 5 additional tire sets. And then an incident penalty that starts around 24 incidents. We will do up to 3 green-white checker attempts. And our fuel window, I'm going to have to update those numbers. I'm not sure that is accurate for this track, but we'll refresh that. 68 degrees in the air, 93 degrees on track.
I mean, it is September. Fall is in the air, but nonetheless, here we are getting ready to rock and roll here in New Hampshire, as they are about 2 minutes done with warm-up. And I tell you what, it's going to be jet planes in the gymnasium here. As, well, you know, that's the way it is sometimes.
It is. And I think this is what NASCAR racing is all about. Especially playoff racing, Alan. You go all season to put yourself in a position to be able to make it into that final 4 and race for a championship. And a cutoff race here in the round of the 12 is really the meat of the playoff sandwich. This is where it's make or break. Drivers like Smith and the other Smith, who are safe, and Ryan Patty, that takes so much weight off of their shoulders here. They can just go out, race for the win, and see what they can do. And then Nathan Finnegan, well, I'm not sure if he's watching from home or wherever he is, but he's going to be probably keeping an eye on this situation as well. And then every other driver needing to have a solid run, pick up stage points along the way, and then have a good finish. And of course, getting that win here at New Hampshire will guarantee you go into the next round regardless of points. So look for some tight battles near the front with any of these playoff drivers kind of realizing they're within reach of a win. They're going to be going for it hard.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get ready to get down trackside for the grid here tonight.
See, as drivers are heading down to the grid, we're going to jump on board with our pace truck here at the front. It is going to be Brian Smith on the pole and outside the 87 of Bentley Glazer. Our in-race reporter, Ryan Patty, just shot me a note. He thinks the fuel window is going to be somewhere between 52 and 55 laps tonight. We're going to take his word for it and keep an eye on that as we close in on the stages at the end of the race. So that means you should be able to complete the first portion of this race, the first stage, without hitting pit road. So it's going to be kind of an all-out driving fest here for the first 40 laps. Unless we get some cautions in the middle. And now that we're moving, start our rolling grid. It's going to be Brian Smith and Bentley Glazer on row 1. Then Chuck Van Schaik and Braxton DeWeese in row 2. John McNeil and Adam Ball are on row 3. Love that weather radar scheme on the 19. Charlie Widener and Zach Lockett, the Rocket, in row 4. Jake Champion and Cody Neal in row 5. Jonathan Duncan and Justin Bissonette. That's a new one for me. Hope I'm pronouncing that one right. Let us know if we're not. Kyle Gilbert and Sean Purcell in row 7. Ryan Patty and Brock Hersey, row 8. Then Patrick Colby and Hanover Fist in row 9. Jacob Gladelich and Charles Woods in row 10. Kyle Purcell and Kyle Diaz in row 11. Brad Delph and Chris Camburn. And as that pace truck rolls off, Robert Balloon, Jacob Smith, row 13. And Cody Eldredge starting out back tonight. Also looks like Jacob Smith might be out there as well. We are green flag racing here at New Hampshire. Brian Smith leading them through turns 1 and 2 as Bentley Glazer is already under attack from the 23.
Yeah, not a whole lot of room to rest here, as we have already got one car 3 wide, or already as we come through turns 3 and 4 to get lap 1 completed.
And not without contact either. John McNeil all the way down low. That apron is fair game here at New Hampshire. I don't think it's faster, but you will see drivers going down there to use that apron, especially when drivers get 3 and 4 wide, and that's the only place to go.
Definitely, that's the shortest way around, if you will. But nonetheless, here we go. Oh, watch out, John McNeil.
Again, the 48 using that low line. See what he can get. And back behind him, the 38 of Cody Neal battling with the 27 of Jake Champion. That's a battle for 8th. It looks like
these guys are throwing haymakers.
We've got Sean Purcell in the pits already. I'm not sure if he started the race or is still waiting to start. And Kyle Diaz is also a little bit off pace on the lead lap, but all by himself. He might have started from the pits himself. And there's going to be our first yellow flag of the night here in the New Hampshire 201. Looks like John McNeil, Cody Neal, and Brock Hersey all possibly involved. Let's start with McNeil. And check it out. The 48 continuing to use that low line that we saw him doing the first couple laps of the race. Let's go ahead and speed this up. There he goes. Just gets loose on the bottom. Slides up in front of the 93. Oh, the 24. I don't think he hit anything, Alan.
Absolutely. Oh.
Oh, and what? Oh, this time let's ride along with Cody Neal. See his portion of the crash. He avoids McNeil, but then gets into Champion and drifts down low. And I'm not sure he touched the wall or not.
Maybe not.
Still got that beautiful metallic yellow Caterpillar paint scheme. I'm a big fan. Love to see him keeping that thing clean. Here on lap 5. And then the other driver showing up as involved is Brock Hersey. That's the 24. We saw him get sideways in one of the other replays. Don't think he hit anything, though. Yeah, just reacting to the 48. Able to keep it completely out of the wall and out of all the other cars. Great driving there by Brock in the 24. Racing with Collar City. So as we catch back up live, it's still Brian Smith out front, Bentley Glazer in second, Chuck Van Schaik in third, and Braxton DeWeese in fourth. That's exactly where those 4 drivers started the race. Behind them, it's Adam Ball up 1 position from the start, then Charlie Widener and Kyle Gilbert up 7 positions. Let's take a look at our biggest movers of the race so far. Kyle Purcell up 10 positions, just outside the top 10 in 11th, and Brad Delph also up 10 positions to 13th.
We are already doubled up 2 by 2. Noah's Ark stop behind that iRacing.com pace car. Like Glidelich and Smith are out, or didn't even take the green.
Yeah, Jacob Smith, I mean, he is locked into the playoffs. Might have 1 or 2 of these drivers leaning in to serve as race control tonight. Might be why they're showing up on the tower, but not starting the race. Green flag is out for the second time here tonight.
Back to green flag racing. We're going to get the lap 40 stage number 1.
DeWeese
Brian
now
Smith
outside of Glazer.
I'd say Brian Smith got a good jump there. Here comes Bentley Glazer battling DeWeese. And that's what Charlie Widener wants. And that's also what Brian Smith wants. These guys to be side by side.
Braxton DeWeese now up to P2. Driving out of Miamisburg, Ohio. Again, another familiar paint scheme. The Janes on Main. We know they're cheering down at Janes tonight for Braxton. Got a pretty good battle back here behind Adam Ball as Ryan Patty has up 9 positions from the start of the race. Allen up to 6th, and now just behind him, the 23 and the 01 going at it.
I hope that everybody loves these new graphics that we have debuted here.
Yeah, the SDK gaming apps that we use for our graphic software sent out a new update for their NASCAR overlays. We had a chance to tweak and customize them a little bit, so you're going to be seeing a lot of them here tonight. And now Kyle Gilbert getting into this fight, but he's going to have to back out. And that's going to let Patrick Colby into the fight as well. Cody Neal right on his bumper, and they're almost 3 wide coming out of the turn. Just 12 laps in, there's a couple drivers who are notably faster than the rest of the field. Ryan Patty right now with the fastest lap so far in the race. He's now up to 5th. And still going forward.
Still going forward he is. Ryan Patty up 10 spots from where he started from.
And take a look at Ryan. Yeah, started 15th, now in 5th. You can see his journey there on the left, just moving towards the front ever since this race got started. Purcell going to get around Adam Ball. Kyle Purcell, another driver on the move. He's up 15 positions now on the night. Started in 21st. And he is climbing the mountain. Gets loose there on the backstretch, though. Keeps it under him. I believe that is Fruit Snacks in his driver photo there, wearing the fire suit.
It's Fruit Snack.
Looking pretty sharp. Got a battle shaping up here between Jonathan Duncan and Chuck Van Schaik. That's a battle for 8th. And they have Cody Neal and Patrick Colby right on their bumper. Ooh, we've got Patty going by Widener now. Patty now up to 4th. Brian Smith still out front now with a 1-second lead ahead of Braxton Deweese. And the top 10 starting to get spaced out. Still got a great battle between these 4 here. This is 4th through 11th. And again, we're going to look at our race analysis here. We've got 3 stages for 201 laps, 40 laps in stage 1. We're about halfway through that. Then it's going to be 70 laps in stage 2 and stage 3 at 91. That means there's going to be at least 1 pit stop in stage 2 and probably 2 pit stops in stage 3. Going to be a lot of strategy at hand later in the race. Right now, though, it's all about how fast can you go to lap 40.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, Cody Neal up 1 spot from where he started.
Some hard battles a little further back. Checking in on McNeil. He was the car that brought out that first caution all the way back in 18th. He's got to be kicking himself for spinning that 48 car around early in the race, but he's going to be able to rebound over the course of this run. I'm sure, Alan, he had a lot of speed early. Does look like he might have abandoned that low line that had some speed, but also got him loose.
Yeah, absolutely. 19 of 40 laps.
Everyone pretty well spaced out now, but Purcell is tracking down the 95 of Charlie Widener. He's to his inside. And they are side by side into turn 1.
Oh, they're almost Goodyear to Goodyear.
Yeah, these two about 2 seconds behind Ryan Patty, battling for 5th here. And Purcell, oh, he almost cleared him and then had to check up. Fantastic racing here. Purcell going to clear the 95, but it almost looked like Weiner was going to come back with a run. But Purcell starts to pull away now. And Patty is catching Glazer. Patty is catching everyone on track right now, Alan.
Yeah, Ryan, Patty, and there he is, Bentley Glazer right in front of him. But Ryan Patty, though, going to go to the high side.
And over the last 5 laps, Patty is fastest on track. Just a smidge faster than our leader, Brian Smith. Colby now looking inside of Adam Ball, and he's going to slam the wall trying to get there. And he's all the way down to the apron.
So there goes Patrick Colby.
Oh, and there's going to be our second yellow flag of the night. Kyle Diaz looks to be the cause of this one. He is still stopped on track. So we will go back and see what happened to the 26 car. All by himself. Oh, and it looked like he had it saved. But that 26 car, he really just doesn't look like he's in the track at all tonight, Alan. Loose on turn exit and then just stayed loose all the way down that backstretch. Get in contact with the wall. So if you've noticed, we do have 2 different colors in our driver tower here tonight. Everyone in the bright blue, those are playoff drivers. Brian Smith, Jacob Smith, and Ryan Patty have already clinched their way into the next round. So right now, Braxton Deweese is the driver in P2 that is the closest to guaranteeing his way into the next round of the remaining drivers. Deweese was pretty comfortable on points coming in. So he is sitting pretty here in stage 1, especially if he can stay there to get stage points here in another 13 laps. Right now, looks like just a handful of drivers deciding to hit pit road. Adam Ball was the furthest up in the field that did come to pit road. John McNeil, Cody Eldred, Hanover Fist, Kyle Diaz, and Robert Bloom, the other drivers pitting here on lap 27. And there are a few drivers in the field that have already stopped tonight because they may have been involved in an accident earlier. Cody Neal was in 21 laps ago for fuel only, as was Jake Champion, but Champion did take 4 tires. I don't know if that has paid off in terms of speed for him. So jot that down in your crew chief notebook for later. But we'll get a really good look at Adam Ball when he comes back out of the pits. Looks like Cody Eldred coming back in again. And we are 1 to green. Here, Ryan Patty all the way up to 3rd when that caution came out. Why don't we jump on board with that 30 car here for this restart? as he's going to be just behind our leader Brian Smith, with Bentley Glazer to his outside and Braxton DeWeese caddy cornered there on the front row. With our SRM onboard camera here on the restart on lap 28. It's going to be 13 laps to the end of the stage. Great jump on the inside. Oh, a contact between the 30 and the 78. That drifts Patty up into Braxton DeWeese on the outside. Like I said, I think this is the driver to jump on board with here for this restart. He's been the only car on track faster than the 78 under green flag conditions. Can he track him down?
He's trying.
And Bentley Glazer drifting back here on this restart. As now Cody Neal looks inside of the 87. The 01 of Kyle Purcell had already gotten around him. And then it's Colby and Widener, the next two in line. They're side by side though. The top 5 drivers in the race are all playoff drivers, but the top 2 have already clinched. So DeWeese, Purcell, and Neal are the drivers showing up early. Bentley Glazer has also shown a lot of speed. So far, he's not in the playoffs, so he's racing for the win. Points don't matter. I think that makes him a contender and someone to watch out for, especially if you're a driver in the playoffs. Not willing to take a gamble on points tonight.
It's 8 laps to go here in stage number 1. We got battles all over this racetrack.
Yeah, 48 of McNeil. Still trying to get back to where he was running earlier before that spin. He is going to clear Gilbert and try to get around the 88 of Chris Camburn. And he'll do it. And I feel like these 4 cars right here have been racing each other for the last 34 laps, and that's how long we've been racing.
Absolutely. 7 to go here in stage number 1. We're going to wait to stage number 40. Or lap 40 on stage 1. Wow. If I could talk.
Up front, Ryan Patty sticking right with the 78. These two matching lap times. And the stage win does give you a bonus point you can carry with you into the next playoff round. So these two drivers have that bonus point at stake. Patty going high on him this time. Can he get there? 5 to go. Now 4 laps to go. Braxton DeWeese in the picture, but not quite within striking distance here at the end of stage 1.
There's the eyeball test. Ryan Patty just does not have enough of it.
The last 3 laps, though, he has been faster than the leader. How about that one? Oh, Smith edged him out that lap, but Patty is to his inside. Took a dive at him. And now they're coming to 2 to go. It looks like the 78 saved a little bit of speed here for the end of stage 1, and Patty is not going to get there. Chris Camber just picked up a black flag. I believe he might have... Oh, he spun coming onto pit road here, trying to flip the stage. Not a bad idea strategy-wise, but not going to work out if you get that black flag for an unsafe pit entry.
Or entering a closed pit.
Yeah, you're right. It could have been either one. As they're coming back to the green-white checker of the end of the stage, Brian Smith going to hold off Ryan Patty for the first 40 laps of the race.
What a race that was.
And there it is, the stage caution comes out. Going to be our third of the night. So as these drivers get restacked for stage 2, put on some fresh rubber and fill up those tanks, we're going to take our first commercial break of the night and be right back for more coverage of the Icon Cup Series on SRM in the New Hampshire 201. Welcome back to the New Hampshire 201 with the Icon Cup Series on SRM, and we are at the start of Stage 2. John McNeil is out front. He did a two-tire strategy to get himself back up into contention in front of Brian Smith and Ryan Patty. We're going to have to see if that pays off for him. It's working so far. He got a great restart there. And now Patty has gotten around the 78 for the first time tonight. Now in P2. They're three wide back behind him. That's Widener, Purcell, Colby, Deweese, Neal, Gilbert, all in the fight. This is around fifth. Oh, Neal slides up just a little bit. Almost into Gilbert. They keep it clean. Well, we can hear Ryan Patty has gone around. Still green, though. I heard those tires squealing out of frame. Knew somebody was in trouble. We're going to go back a lap and check on what happened to Patty. He got to the inside of John McNeil and just too hard on the brakes. Came around, missed McNeil by about an inch, then missed Adam Ball by about half an inch. That is going to be a setback for the 30. At least some medium damage to the right front fender. And up front, it's still the 48 of John McNeil. The two tires paying off. They look at the pit stop breakdown there at the end of stage 1. McNeil on two tires. Adam Ball went fuel only. Either that or he had the fastest two-tire stop we've seen all season. Maybe trying to save a set of tires, but there goes the 78. To the inside of McNeil. McNeil gonna pinch him down, or try to anyway. And Bentley Glazer is watching this battle saying, hey, just stay side by side for a few more laps. I'll come up there and relieve you of the lead, no problem. 78 still working there as McNeil has to check up, gets tight on exit. That's gonna give Glazer a run down to the outside. Can't quite get there. McNeil holds on to second. So many different lines here at New Hampshire. We've seen drivers all the way down to the apron, drivers all the way up in kind of that third or fourth groove. I think if you go all the way to the wall in the turn, it's nothing but marbles. But there are at least 4 lanes that are completely viable, all offering different opportunities to gain speed on entry or exit. As McNeil dives down low. Brian Smith's been running kind of that second lane off the bottom. Nothing too extreme for the 78 so far. But 12 laps into this stage, I think McNeil's strategy was a great one. Take a look at his position chart early on with that spin, and he had to make some repairs that dropped him back to 24th. And then he's been steadily working his way up. He had gotten to 8th when the stage ended, and then used that pit strategy to jump from 8th to the lead. Now holding on to P2. Just ahead of Bentley Glazer. And as they're getting spaced out here at the front, they are coming tighter and tighter together back here at the battle for 10th. Kyle Gilbert trying to get around Adam Ball with Jake Champion and Zach Lockett right in his mirror. And Ryan Patty is there too as he tries to recover from that solo spin and wall contact just a few laps ago. 3 wide. Gilbert gonna hold on to it for now. Patty has gone to the outside of Zach Lockett, though. Oh, and Champion locks him up, slides up in front of the 30. And they're still going to be able to make the pass on the 93. Patty now looking low on Champion. I think his car's all right, Alan. That 30 still has a lot of speed in it. Here's the battle for 5th. This is between Cody Neal and Braxton Deweese. Oh, Deweese just kisses the wall. No damage. Keeps that momentum rolling on the high side. And Neal clears him. You can see the 8 had to check up just a little bit. At this point in the race, I think that's a smart move. Both of these drivers racing for playoff points. No reason to get too aggressive here on lap 57. The battle between Kyle Gilbert and Adam Ball is still heating up with Patty right on top of him. Zach Lockett throws it in there too. And Champion is now there on the outside. This 5-car battle, giving it everything they have for 9th position. And that's also bringing another car. I think it's Charles Woods starting to catch this group too. As Patty gets around Adam Ball, so does Jake Champion. Gilbert still holding him off, though. New Hampshire always puts on some great side-by-side racing, as drivers try to decide whether or not to save tires for the long run or get aggressive early. We see Patty gets loose. He has to check up. That's going to let Jake Champion to his outside. That's the second time this run that Patty has thrown it in just a little too hot on the bottom, and that car has snapped loose on him. That was a great turn there as he takes a position and clears Champion. Starts to work on Kyle Gilbert one more time. And Neal now around Colby to P4. Cody Neal having a great night. Started in 10th, but then involved in that first caution early on. Dropped all the way back to 21st. Raced his way back into the top 5. Sitting 4th in that Caterpillar Ford Mustang for Buddy Motorsports. His teammate, Brian Smith, still out front. Now almost a second lead over John McNeil.
Yeah, here we are, rocking lap 23 of 70 to get us to the end of stage 2.
Now, why don't we do let's do a teammate check here. Starting with Buddy Motorsports, Brian Smith and Cody Neal both in the top 5. Jacob Smith, he didn't really start the race, so he's showing his 26, but he is locked into the next round of the playoffs. No worries there. Next up, as we look at Adrenaline Racing with John McNeil and Zach Lockett. They're both in the top 10. As I say that, Lockett loses 10th position to Champion. Both drivers, though, showing speed and looking competitive tonight. Our non-affiliated drivers are led by Bentley Glazer. He's in 3rd. Braxton Deweese and Jake Champion also in the top 10. And Patrick Colby looking good for Dragonfly Racing. Charlie Widener with Highline in 7th. Kyle Purcell in 8th. Sean, though, not having a good night, as I mentioned. He was kind of off the pace early. Might not have even started this way. It's hard to tell from the timing tower. Then Electric City Racing, ECR, Ryan Patty and Adam Ball in the top 15 right now. We saw what happened to Patty earlier. He is trying to drive back to the front. Renville Racing, represented by Gilbert, as he slaps the wall right on cue. And I'm trying to, I think next up is Collar City. Cody Eldred flying the flag for them tonight, leading the way in 16th with Brock Hersey back in 21st. Then it looks like we've got 2 other teams that are both single car. Chuck Van Schaik racing for Goat Racing. Goat Lives Matter on that car. And then Kyle Diaz racing for Gone Wrong Racing, the only car for them tonight. He is on the lead lap, but just really hasn't had speed all night. And you see the leader is coming to get him. He's got damage on the front of that car.
That's so unfortunate for that number 26 car, as he had a bad Saturday night and even worse Sunday night.
So McNeil hanging right there lap time wise with Brian Smith. That gap kind of sticking right around 9/10. And again, if you're taking notes in your crew chief notebook, McNeil on a 2-tire strategy at the end of stage 1. And he is right there in P2, matching lap times of the leader. So 2 tires definitely going to be on the table later in the race.
They have to be.
A 3-car battle here between Widener, Purcell, and Patty. This is for 7th. Patty going to try to follow the 01 down low. And they're going to clear the 95, at least for now. Widener, though, might try to the crossover. Don't think he's going to have it. Kyle Purcell started 21st, raced all the way up to 4th there at the end of the stage, running 7th right here. You just have the feeling that if he could get the track position, he'd be a few positions higher here in contention for the win. We'll see what Fruit Snacks can do about it.
Fruit Snacks.
Fruit Snacks is the cat, for anyone who doesn't know that. We're not calling Kyle Fruit Snacks, but we're still waiting to get that in-car camera where we can see the cat crew chiefing for him. We'll see if we can get that for another race here later in the playoffs. Patty all the way to the bottom. You know what that reminds me of, Alan, is I believe, if my historian memories are correct, that New Hampshire was host of the first ever oval rain tire race for the Cup Series.
Yes.
And
yes,
what I remember from that is the drivers figured out immediately that the only place on the track with grip was the apron, and everyone was down there.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty memorable race there. I don't remember who won, but I remember that wild racing down on the wet apron.
Yeah, not too much rain though. Just like a light shower. Remember the rain race where Kyle Busch backed it into the wall?
I don't remember it specifically, but I feel like there's been so many rain races since that first one here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, this is when he drove for Joe Gibbs Racing. He spun out, and then Denny Hamlin spun out.
Oh, you know what? I think I do remember that now. We are watching the closest battle on track is between the 23 and the 24. This is a battle for 19th. Two drivers not having the track position they need to battle for the win, but just hard racing all the way around the track tonight. And here's the battle for 12th, led by Jonathan Duncan, but Kyle Gilbert looking to take that away. Duncan was one of those playoff drivers pretty far below the cut line coming into this race. He needs stage points and probably a win. See, he's kind of just been stuck right outside the top 10. Lost some track position by topping off on fuel at the end of the stage and has gained a number of positions there from 20th up to 10th. But he's got a big gap to the next car in front of him, almost 4 seconds to Zach Lockett in 9th. Brian Smith now with a 2.5 second lead over Cody Neal is now in P2. Where is McNeil?
John McNeil.
He pitted.
Is all the way back there in 18th. He pitted.
All right,
Keep flipping the stage.
Having so much fun watching the battles on track. We didn't notice the 48 pitted out of second place. Here on lap 75, Patrick Colby and Adam Ball did the same thing. I gotta imagine they know they had to pit at some point, and they're deciding to try the undercut, pick up some fresh tires, and go. While McNeil only took 2 tires at the end of the stage, he did take 4 tires on that stop. And now Brad Delph, the latest driver to hit pit road.
I like the green flag pit stops.
Always spices it up a bit. They always make me a little nervous though, Alan, because when I'm practicing for a race, I practice just about everything: high line, low line, saving fuel, saving tires. And then right around the time the race starts, I realize, hey, I never practiced getting on pit road. Neal catching the lap car of the 11. That's Robert Bloon. Just going a lap down. He is the first car sitting in the lucky dog position right now. Kyle Gilbert now on pit road. Braxton DeWeese also coming in. Chris Camburn as well.
Say the story of the night, Brian Smith dominating once again.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. He swept the first round of the playoffs, winning all 3 races. But then in this round, it's been Jacob Smith and Ryan Patty, the two able to come home with the win.
Right now, if you look at the points, Brian Smith has enough points that he could afford to, sit out a race or so.
Yeah, he has clinched into the next round. And we mentioned last week, he led 199 laps at Gateway. At Bristol. I'm all turned around tonight, Alan.
You get to the right track sooner or later.
It was Bristol. Okay, that's what I thought. And Brian Smith led 199 laps, never dropped below 4th, but then in the final green flag pit cycle, he came down pit road, and it was Ryan Patty that was able to stretch his fuel. The 2 other drivers that were able to stretch it and make it through that last 121 lap green flag run on a 115 lap fuel window was Kyle Purcell and Chuck Van Schaik, and that was the podium last week at Bristol.
Yeah, 118 points above the cut line. Sits in third place in points. Brian Smith looking at these playoff points.
Patty has just gotten past Bentley Glazer. That puts him in P2 as Cody Neal and Zach Lockett come to pit road. Patty is 6 seconds behind the leader, Brian Smith. Basically, everyone that was running up in front of Glazer and Patty have already come to pit road. The furthest up of them is Braxton DeWeese. He is running in 9th place, 30 seconds behind the leader. But right now, he's 1 lap down from the leader, so he either needs to get this lap back quick or hope that Brian Smith comes to pit road. You can see him working on him right there. He's going to unlap himself here, it looks like.
At James on main board, number 8. Here he comes. He's going to lap himself.
And right now, it's Kyle Purcell, Brad Delph, and Patrick Colby, the 3 fastest cars on track, trying to make use of those fresh tires. Charlie Widener, the next to come to pit road. And now our leader, Brian Smith. So Ryan Patty assumes the lead. And that leaves 15 cars on the lead lap. As they run, we'll see where Brian Smith comes out of the pits. Opting to take 2 tires, it looks like, on his stop. Again, I think DeWeese is the driver to watch. And there he goes, the 8 car side by side as they come out of the pits. Neal, they are right there as well. So Braxton DeWeese is the first car that has pitted. He will cycle to the lead, assuming we do not have a caution here in the final 20 laps of stage 2.
We got just 20 laps to go. 21.
And the 8 going to be driving his heart out here as the 78 has the tire advantage. 7 laps fresher there on the 78. Both of them opting to take 2 tires. And there it is. Brad Delph wrecks right in front of the leaders. The 78 gets sideways, saves it. And that is really going to shake things up because there were 6 cars, make that 5 cars, that had not pitted. Ryan Patty, Bentley Glazer, Jake Champion, Jonathan Duncan, and Cody Eldred, who are going to really benefit here by being able to come down, get fresh tires, stay on the lead lap. And then there's going to be 7 more cars that will be on the lead lap that had unlapped themselves before the caution. And then there's going to be another 7 cars that are a lap down and need to take a wave around, and they're going to hope that everyone on the lead lap comes down pit road so that they can do that. Really shaking up the pit strategy with that one. We mentioned it was Brad Delph. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to the 72. All by himself, down on the apron. Oh, you can see there's a bump right there at the commitment line to pit road. And that really threw that 72 card for a ride. So now what is going to happen? It looks like, okay, there, I'm not quite sure if Jonathan Duncan just stayed out and kept the lead.
He might have.
He's got 48 laps on this run. I think that's a mistake, Alan.
It might be.
We expect the fuel window to be somewhere between 52 and 55 laps. So Duncan just riding along out there, unless he had this planned all along, has been saving fuel the whole time. I'm not sure what he's planning to do about it. Stays out again.
I mean, we only got like a little over 20 laps to the stage.
Yeah, again, our notes are saying that we got from from Ryan Patty pre-race said 55 laps was the biggest window, but we'll see if Duncan can do it. And even if he can make it on fuel, those tires are going to be hurting. And you see what we're kind of setting up for here. The first 4 cars behind Duncan, all on 2 tires, and they pitted a while ago. Then John McNeil and Patrick Colby on 4 tires. They pitted 17 laps ago. They were some of the first to come in. And then Ryan Patty and Bentley Glazer, Jake Champion, Cody Eldred, Brock Hursley, Zach Lockett, or sorry, not Zach Lockett. He pitted a few laps ago as well. But those drivers I just mentioned, they are going to be on fresh tires here with about 17 to go. Here in stage 2. So watch that 30 car. I expect him to be making aggressive moves early with those fresh tires. So Duncan takes the lead, jumps up in front of Deweese, arcs it into turn 1, and Deweese trying to get P2 away from Brian Smith, but Smith is on the attack to the inside of Duncan. Now Deweese throwing the defense with Purcell just behind him. Cody Neal has nowhere to go as he has caught Duncan and has speed, and they're 3 wide.
They're going through. Oh, how did they get through that?
So
how did they ever do that?
I didn't think they were going to. And now Duncan up high. Those old tires really catching up with him. Maybe he's hoping for another quick caution to see.
They're going to go 3 wide again.
Everybody flying around the 13 right now on those 40-some lap older tires. Patty looking under Purcell. And he's loose. No, there he goes.
Save it.
He does for the second time tonight. Ryan Patty got loose into turn 1, got all the way sideways, and didn't get a caution to help him get caught up. The first time he smacked the wall. That time, though, didn't touch a thing. So it's Braxton Deweese and Cody Neal now battling for second with Purcell just behind him. Brian Smith trying to gap these guys to take the second stage win of the night. Let's jump on board with a 38, trying to chase down Braxton Deweese. You can see he's working hard to keep that left bumper just a little bit out in clean air. And the drivers are in 4th on the straightaway, dropping to 3rd in the turns. Not what I would have guessed.
No, not at all.
And you can hear how early he's downshifting, really using that to help slow down the car and get some rotation on entry. That time looking a little bit high, trying to get a run off the corner. But these two just seem to be matching each other lap for lap. And there, Jonathan Duncan has hit pit road. We knew he couldn't make it very far on fuel. And he does it right there.
Now with 102 laps to go.
And here comes Kyle Purcell. He's to the outside of the 38. Oh, a little bit of contact.
They're leaning on each other.
The gloves are off here in this playoff cutoff race for the round of 12. Deweese, Purcell, and Neal all looking for a win to guarantee they get into the next round of the playoffs without having to worry about points here tonight.
And this is the kind of racing that the Magic Mile here in New Hampshire lends itself to. Close quarters racing. There's a little bit of room to get away. You need to scurry away here. But look at Braxton Deweese right back here in fourth position, right behind Kyle Purcell machine at Chicago Land Racing. And these guys are absolutely putting on a show right now.
Yeah, Cody Neal came in 28 points above the cut line. He's a little comfortable, at least more than these other two. Kyle Purcell came in just 8 points above the cut line, and Braxton 3 points below it. So these three have everything to gain, especially Purcell and Deweese.
Right, as you say that, you know, this is what Nathan Finnegan did not want to see, is Braxton Deweese and Cody Neal battling for the second spot there. Because after tonight, I would be remiss to say that Nathan Finnegan is going to be in a must-win going into the next round.
I mean, if Finnegan's going to be out.
Yeah.
If these guys have a decent enough race and get enough stage points, he's kind of going to need, just like 2 or 3 drivers to just have some bad luck for him to be able to maintain. I think he had a 31-point gap ahead of the cutoff coming in here. And these three just continue to battle. Neal is pulled away, but Glazer has entered the chat, as has Jake Champion. Here with 5 to go in stage 2, Brian Smith still out front, now almost a 3-second gap ahead of Cody Neal, who's just ahead of this gaggle of cars battling for third.
I can tell you right now, right here in this area where we're watching Kyle Purcell, Braxton Deweese, Bentley Glazer, there is more action right here than a Waffle House at 3 a.m.
Absolutely. And if you like action like that, make sure to tune in with us every Sunday night with the Icon Cup Series. Next week we kick off the round of 8. And it's only going to get more intense as the drivers take on Kansas, the Roval at Charlotte, and then Las Vegas before they hit into the final stretch, which is going to round out with Homestead, Miami, Martinsville, and the finale at Phoenix. Deweese now under Purcell. He's going to clear him. 4 laps to go here in stage 2. Just past halfway in the race overall. We want to thank everybody watching on YouTube with us. Let us know who you're pulling for. Let us know who you think's going to win this thing. And as always, hit the like and subscribe button if you get a chance.
Pete Walsh checking in. Not too many people wanting a free Vinny tonight.
And we did get one request even before the stream started. But that's been all quiet on the Vinny front.
Maybe we'll get with Ryan and see what we can do about maybe freeing Vinny to come to the broadcast booth.
Well, I'm going to stay out of league politics.
Look, we got to give the people what they want.
I see Pete Walsh chiming in. He was pulling for Diaz. Now that Diaz is out of it, he's going with the 01 of Purcell. 1 lap to go. And Brian Smith gonna grab another one here on lap 110. We take a look at the lap leaders. Brian Smith has led 97 laps so far in this race. John McNeil with 7, Ryan Patty with 5, and Duncan with 2 there by staying out on the restart.
Robert Ross checking in the YouTube.com live chat, wanting to know who the heck Vinny is. It's a mystery to us too. We don't know.
Yeah, from what we've gathered, he is a mysterious and mythological driver that has existed in days past here at Icon. But with that, we're going to step away for our second caution of the night and then stick with you all the way to the finish here in the New Hampshire 201. Welcome back to the New Hampshire 201 with Sim Racing Media. Here with the Icon Cup Series. John McNeil out front once again, using pit strategy to get there. 2 tires again at the end of the stage. It worked pretty well for him at the end of stage 1 to start stage 2, while Brian Smith took the lead. He hung in P2 for a long time before he came to pit road. And with that stage caution, there were a number of drivers able to get the wave around, but we already have our next caution. Zach Lockett involved. Taking a look back.
What happened to the Rocket, Zach Lockett, and a little too much on the go-go pedal.
Just the same thing that we saw happen to Ryan Patty twice. That low line does have speed, but on cold tires, it is treacherous. No contact with another car, no contact with the wall. No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul.
But yeah, John McNeil pulling that strategy again, and it is working. McNeil came into this race 16 points above the cut line. Let's see, he was 7th at the end of stage 2 and 8th at the end of stage 1, so he did pick up a handful of stage points to help his cause. Now with Van Schaik and Duncan both 1 lap down. They're the 2 playoff drivers hurting the most so far in this one. The rest of the playoff drivers are actually all in the top 10 right now.
Absolutely.
So nothing is safe for anyone. McNeil in the lead. Again, on that 2-tire strategy. Everybody else, other than 1 or 2 cars that went fuel only, is sitting on 4 tires. But it worked out really well for him the last time he did it. So no worries there. He's still in the lead. And we've seen a number of drivers get caught with some damage. We take a look at our wrench wranglers tonight. Kyle Diaz, the driver with the most amount of repairs that had at least come back out to race for a little while. He is out of the race now. Chris Camburn, of all the drivers still on the track, is the one with almost a minute of damage repaired. John McNeil had 15 seconds at one point, and he's in the lead, so he is going to win the wrench wrangling competition, at least right now, here on lap 118 with 84 to go. Pace car is going to hit pit road. We're going to take the green flag for the 7th time tonight. McNeil with a great start on the outside line. He's going to bring Cody Neal with him. I think they caught Brian napping just a little bit on that restart, Alan. We usually see the 78 get a great restart, especially on the bottom. Oh, a little bit of contact with the 38.
John McNeil pulls out to lead, but here comes Cody Neal. It's a battle of the Neals.
Everybody
Right
knows
now,
what's on the line. This is the final stage and the final race of the round of 12. A little bit of contact between Neal and McNeil. They keep it straight.
I don't know how, but here comes Brian Smith. Looking to the outside, and guess what? He's bringing Braxton DeWeese right along with him. Cody Neal going underneath. Oh!
Three wide and contact. McNeil goes around in front of the field.
No!
Collects Glazer.
No.
Champion involved. I couldn't tell if Ryan Patty had contact or not, but he was pretty close.
We just had the big one occur at Loudon.
Let's go back and take a look at that one. Here on lap 120, Neal went all the way to the bottom. Brian Smith went in, and then everybody just fighting for that same middle groove on turn exit. Contact there sends the 48 up into the wall right in front of Glazer. Patty escapes without contact. Champion gets around, but then spins on his own. And there it is. Everybody able to split the 48 and get around. Why don't we watch this one more time from that 30 car? Whoa. Some of these drivers gonna need a change of shorts. And McNeil probably gonna be writing his congressman about the driving of the 78. Didn't look like any malicious intent, but as those drivers get together, especially with the 78 already locked in and the 48 racing for his playoff spot, he is not going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, some of these guys are racing for their playoff contentions and playoff hopes. But wow, I was already a Ryan Patty fan. That just made me a bigger one.
Yeah, Glazer though didn't really have anywhere to go. And Patty's actually chiming in the chat. He needs to keep his hands on the wheel so he can avoid the next one of those.
10-2, Ryan. 10-2.
All right, with that, there's 19. Oh, Brian Smith given the black flag for that one. Race control, I assume, did not take too lightly to that. So he is on pit road. Actually, maybe he picked up a black for coming into a closed pits. Let's see, yeah, because we're 1 to green. And then he pitted. I'm not sure. But up front, there goes that pace truck again. He's earning his salary tonight. Green flag is back out with Braxton DeWeese on the outside. Kyle Purcell now in third and Patty still in fourth after avoiding mayhem.
The end of the longest line. Here we go. Cody Neal, Braxton DeWeese leads them down the back straightaway with Kyle Purcell right in tow. Here comes Ryan Patty. He just checked into the iRacing or the YouTube.com live chat to say yikes. 10-2, Brian. 10-2.
DeWeese all the way to the bottom as Neal gets loose. Side by side into turn 1, and Purcell is now in there too. DeWeese to the lead. Wow. Phenomenal racing here in the final 77 laps of the round of 12. Patty trying to figure out if he should push Neal or push Purcell.
Well, I think a lot of these guys did not want to see that 8 car out front.
It sure shakes up the points battle. Oh, and Purcell gets loose. Oh. Saves it, though.
He saved it.
And with that, Braxton DeWeese just turned the fastest lap in the race, a 29.41. And he is leading this thing. As there goes Brian Smith to pit road to serve that black flag. That's going to take him out of contention for this race. After he led 98 laps. But he is still clinched into the next round of the playoffs. As DeWeese continues to lead. Ryan Patty working on Cody Neal. That's a battle for third. Or sorry, make that the battle for second. As Colby has dropped back. And Purcell has dropped back all the way to 7th. After he got loose there on the backstretch.
What a tough break for Brian Smith, who had such a strong run going. He is on pit road now, and it looks like he is serving that penalty.
What a wild race it has been, Alan. Here, lap 129 of 201. We've had 7 cautions. 2 of those were the stage, so 5 for cause, and just 4 lead changes. And really only 2 dominant leaders. Brian Smith with 99 laps led and John McNeil with 14. But McNeil did pit again under that latest caution. That is why you don't see him up in the top 3 any longer. He is all the way back in 16th. I wonder if he had checked his fuel mileage or something and realized he wasn't going to make it. Might not have gotten enough fuel in it at the stage break, getting 2 tires. So Patty settles in behind Neil. And this 3-car breakaway for the lead is what we've got our eyes on right now. A couple lap cars just ahead of the leaders. Or is that, it might just be the 78 of Brian Smith. Already 2 laps down after serving that penalty. He does not want to go a 3rd lap down.
Well, now he's already out of contention. So
we've got another 3-car battle.
In the next round.
Back here, this is Gilbert, Lockett, and Glazer for 9th.
And here comes Glazer, though.
Oh, these drivers are right on top of each other. Adam Ball diving down to the inside of Gilbert. Can he make it stick? He's going to. And up front, the battle for the lead is just getting tighter and tighter. The 8, the 38, and the 30 all right on top of each other. As Neil's looking to the inside. Dives it in down low. Does not clear Deweese, though.
Oh, this is getting good.
The 8 pulls even, using the momentum of the high line. And we've seen Neil... Oh, go ahead, Alan.
As I said, a good year to good year coming out of turn number 3 and 4.
Woo! And Patty is licking his lips, waiting to pounce on this battle. The longer they're side by side, the hotter those tires are getting and the slower these 2 cars are. As the 30 tries to find his way back to the lead. And there it is.
They're going to make it 3 wide.
Woo!
Oh.
Neil to the lead. Patty to the inside of Deweese. Might have been a little bit of contact there. So now Ryan Patty in the position to play spoiler. Already clinched into the next round of the playoffs. The win is just the cherry on top of this round of 12. After he won last week at Bristol, he could add some bonus points for the next round of playoffs by picking up the win. And also deny any of these other 3 drivers in the top 4 a chance to guarantee their way in to that next round.
Insane.
As we're right on board with Cody Neal, looking out back to the 30 of Ryan Patty and the 8 of Braxton Deweese. He's looking low. Oh, contact made between the 30 and the 38.
Cody Neal says not so fast.
Fantastic racing, and there's going to be our 8th caution of the night.
No.
This time it looks to be the 06 car, Justin Bissonette. Down low, just in front of Van Schaik. Just gets loose. No contact, though. So we'll restack them, re-rack them again. Here with 63 laps to go. I mean, it'd be a tough decision to pit out of the lead, but if I'm anywhere else on the lead lap, I'm coming to pit road, Alan. I want to set myself up for one short stop here to end this race. I don't think you can make it without stopping again, but you could do just a splash of fuel. You could absolutely do 2 tires, which we've seen John McNeil use all night with plenty of speed.
Yeah, they're going to get these fuel tanks full of fuel and a little bit more.
And not everybody came to pit road. Again, Jonathan Duncan stays out. He last pitted on lap 116. So he also is just 1 stop away from making the end of the race. So I think this time I'm agreeing with the 13. This is a worthwhile gamble here. He's going to gain a ton of track position. Come out with the lead. We've seen clean air be beneficial to anybody who's been up there. And then everyone on track still has to pit 1 more time just like him. Why not?
Why not?
Ooh, Brad Delph just picked up a black flag, I think, for a bad entry, either speeding or unsafe. We take a look. I mean, he must have been speeding. It's gonna hurt the 72. Either that, or that might have been another driver that entered a closed pit lane because he didn't come down pit road the first time around. He had stayed out with Duncan. Well, we've seen them side by side. We've seen them slamming wheels, slamming doors. What's left to slam here in this final stint, Alan?
Oh man, they can slam the wall.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer. The top 7 here are all playoff drivers fighting to make it into the next round, and they are off. Jonathan Duncan leads them down low on the low lane. Ryan Patty in his mirror. Cody Neal up high. Oh, and contact there between the 13 and the 30. Patty to the lead. Neal gets to P2, and Deweese is pushing the 13. McNeil now up to 4th. Where did he come from?
Did someone tell these guys it's only lap 142?
Hey, 59 to the checkers. That's close enough for me. Purcell now. Oh, I think he might have run the 48 up the track just a little bit. Colby's right behind him. This is what? Oh, the 01 McNeil come together. Multiple cars involved in that one.
Ugh.
Let's go back and slow that one down. I saw the 01 get sideways to start this thing off. As they're racing there, McNeil is up high. All these drivers trying to get around the 13 who's on slightly older tires. And right here, Colby, he gets in behind McNeil, and then just the turbulent air of these cars all together kicks the 28 back out into the 01. That turns him down into the back of McNeil. And once again, Bentley Glazer in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nowhere to go. Little bit of contact there. Then Jake Champion gets turned into the wall trying to avoid it, as does Widener. And and then there's a little more contact as Champion comes back across the track, bouncing off the wall. Why don't we go back and watch from onboard with Purcell, because he's involved in the contact and also gets a good view of the other cars wrecking around him. And there it is. They bounce together. And after he gets it straightened out, you can see Champion and Widener. I think Colby might have gotten through there clean. He was hard on the brakes at just the right time. All right, reset. We've got Glazer, Widener, Champion, Brian Smith, all on pit road after that one. Ryan Patty is the leader. Cody Neal is second, and Braxton DeWeese is third. So we actually had a large amount of drivers come down pit road and top off on fuel. So I think everyone from Kyle Purcell, Kyle Gilbert, Adam Ball on back, I think they're going to try to stretch it on fuel, Alan. With 56 laps to go, it is certainly possible. While those drivers in the top 5 or 6, Ryan Patty, Cody Neal, Braxton DeWeese, Zach Lockett, Charles Woods, and Cody Eldred, I don't think they can make it on fuel. So they are going to be pressing hard and then either hoping for a caution or coming in for a splash of fuel to finish this thing off. DRSN wants to know if Alan fell asleep again.
Nope, did not.
I'm just having too much fun. I'm not giving you a lot of room to talk tonight, Alan. This has been a blast here in this New Hampshire 201 with Icon.
That's all right. That's all right. Did Alan fall asleep again? No, Alan did not fall asleep again. He's alive and kicking it. Look, I'm just taking in all the action here as Ryan Patty comes back to green flag racing here on lap 147.
And
Is that the rocket Zach Lockett?
It is now up to third as he's to the outside of Braxton DeWeese.
Chris Murphy. I knew it.
Let's take a look at the journey that Lockett has had tonight. That is an up and down race for him. Started in 8th, that involved in that first caution, dropped him as low as 23. And there's another yellow. Brock Hersey this time here on lap 148. So this is really going to shake it up, Alan. I think if you're the guys at the front, now you can kind of go either way. You can say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and come down and get my fuel and not have to worry about it. Or having another caution might be just enough for you to be able to stretch it to the end. And we saw Ryan Patty do that last week. But
I'm coming down pit road.
For now, let's check on Brock Hersey in that 24 car. He was running 14th at the time, and the car just got around on him. McNeil avoids it. Again, no contact, no touching the wall or another car. That's kind of been the story for most of these wrecks tonight. So right now, Cody Eldred has gained 22 positions from the beginning of the race. The biggest mover so far. Ryan Patty, 14 spots up to first, and he is coming to pit road, and Cody Neal stays out. So now we're really going to have some different strategies. Neal's going to be up front in the lead, pretty darn close on fuel. Everybody else, I think, pitted late enough that they're going to be able to make it.
Oh boy.
Again, the laps led dominated by Brian Smith, but he picked up a black flag for contact with the 48 here in the second half of the race, running 19th. But he is on the lead lap, Alan. Don't count him out. Then McNeil has led 14, Ryan Patty's led 12, Cody Neal's led 11, and DeWeese has led 10, with Duncan leading 4. Twice, Duncan stayed out on some older tires and made that work for a couple of laps. He's currently running in 4th. And let's check in one more time on this fuel and pit strategy. Cody Neal, he took 4 tires, but that was 10 laps ago. Can he save enough fuel under caution to make it to the end? Kyle Purcell, Justin Bissonette, Jonathan Duncan, and Patrick Colby all pitted 5 to 6 laps ago. Throw John McNeil in there to top off on fuel after getting tires just before that. Now Ryan Patty and Zach Lockett and everyone on back has pitted just now around lap 150. So right now, I think Cody Neal's the only driver that I have a question about whether or not he can make it on fuel. Everybody else should be good. It's just going to be what can they do with this track position. Ryan Smith back in 18th. Now caught up to the lead lap. The other big storyline is Nathan Finnegan with a DNF last week. After having to claim 3 cautions, not able to make the race this week. He came in 31 points above the cut line, but a lot of these drivers have had good runs tonight, picking up stage points, and now more as this race is closing down. Will he be able to make the cut? We'll have to find out after the race. The green flag is out again as Cody Neal takes him back into turn 1. Kyle Purcell on the outside of the 06. And Jonathan Duncan making it work on the high side. Purcell thought about trying to go around the 38, but the 38 throws the block down low and Purcell goes high. Both of these drivers in the playoffs looking for a victory to stamp their ticket into the round of 8. Purcell pulls ahead.
As I say, these guys are Goodyear to Goodyear.
And there is so much action to watch. The 06 is sideways. Glazer almost hits him. I'll tell you what, Bentley Glazer has been involved in or avoided more wrecks than a Waffle House at 3 a.m., Alan.
That looked like a Waffle House at 3 a.m.
Oh, who is that? Charles Woods? Or is that Van Schaik? Somebody was turned around there in turn 4. I think it's Woods. Go back and see what happened to the 06. We saw that gaggle of cars back here. They're 3 wide as Colby is there. And then, yeah, no contact really. The 06 just got loose on the bottom. Glazer into the wall, trying to avoid it. And then let's check on what happened to Charles Woods. He comes into this late. Swerves to miss Glazer, who had just bounced off the wall. So a couple of things happening here, Alan. Again, I think everybody's going to be good on fuel probably. Maybe Neal is still got a question. But Brian Smith gained 4 spots. He's now up to 14th. He's also got the fastest lap in the race with a 29.36. He is coming.
But he's back on the lead lap.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll make that 11th now that they've cycled around. And a number of drivers have hit pit road. That's Kyle Gilbert, Bentley Glazer, Charlie Widener, Brock Hersey, Jake Champion, Justin Bissonette, and Charles Woods. So the top 12 staying out. So we get caught back up live here. Now 7 of the top 8 drivers are playoff drivers. Zach Lockett, the lone non-playoff driver, in the top 5. And this race just keeps getting more exciting, Alan.
Absolutely.
So Kyle Purcell is the leader. He got around Cody Neal right as that caution came out. He's up 20 positions from where he started the race. Pretty good run here for that 01 Toyota Camry. Started 21st. Then made it up to the top 5. Then dropped back to about 17th. Made it all the way back to the top 5. And then dropped back to 12th. And through the last couple cautions has made the most of these few laps at a time to make his way to the lead. And Duncan now in 3rd on the bottom. You got 19 cars on the lead lap, but that's counting Woods, who's on there. So make that 18 cars on the lead lap. And the green flag is out one more time. Here with 45 to go. Cody Neal takes the lead back on the outside. McNeil down to third as he battles with Duncan. Patrick Colby and Zach Lockett are there. Ryan Patty, Braxton DeWeese, all of these drivers have been up at the front at some point tonight. And now in 9th position is Brian Smith in the 78. Even with the black flag in the middle of the race, that 78 has played his cards to get back on the lead lap and be in position here. Still side by side for McNeil and Duncan. Lockett into the door of Colby. Oh, a little bit of wall contact for the 48. Oh, Duncan into the 48 hard.
Oh, we got caution.
The 12th caution of the night, the 10th for a car going around. And I don't know about that. There might be another black flag coming from race control on that one. Go back and watch that contact between Duncan and McNeil. Yeah, I think the 13 just sent it in a little deep. And McNeil just can't catch a break. That's the second time he's caught some contact to the fender from a driver not able to hold the bottom. How many times has he got to drive back to the front?
A lot.
Look at that. Up and down all night long. He's also made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pit stops so far in the race. He's used pit strategy to leapfrog back into the top 5 4 different times. Right now he's in 17th. The last car, and oh no, the 06 is actually the last car on the lead lap. Currently in 18th, just behind him. But most of these drivers going to come to pit road. These drivers in frame, that is, the drivers elsewhere on the track, all stayed out. So Cody Neal is the leader. Kyle Purcell in second. Patrick Colby third. Zach Lockett in fourth, and Ryan Patty fifth. And Brian Smith is now 6th or 7th. I think it looks like he's 6th now. All right, 41 to go. I mean, it really feels like anyone in the top 7 is a car that could certainly win this race, Alan. And a lot of them kind of need it. They at least need a great points finish. So how much are they willing to risk? Zach Lockett has nothing to lose. So keep your eye on that purple 93 car. They're in 4th place. Ryan Patty and Brian Smith in 5th and 6th. They also have nothing to lose as they're clinched into the next round. So that, to me, is the danger zone. If you're Colby, Purcell, and Neal, you know those 3 are going to be driving their heart out to get the win here at New Hampshire tonight. Coming back to the green. Again, it's been a pretty wild night. 12 cautions for 36 caution laps and 7 lead changes. But the green flag is out again. Cody Neal with a great jump. He pulls away from the whole field. Colby down low. Purcell up high. Ryan Patty in the middle as Brian Smith makes him 3 wide and goes to 4th. Lockett getting pinched up to the wall. Brian Smith all the way to the bottom. I'll call it 2.5 wide. Oh, a little bit of contact between Lockett and Patty as they're 3 wide, battling for 4th. Incredible racing here. The top 8 are all right on top of each other within a second. Cody Neal's trying to pull away. Patrick Colby looking inside of Kyle Purcell. As Patty and Lockett are side by side behind him. They're both getting a run on the 28. Brian Smith has backed off for the time being. Braxton Deweese is right behind him with Adam Ball and Kyle Gilbert in his mirror. As they single file out, who's going to take that dive to the bottom? Oh, and Colby. I think Lockett was expecting Colby to go low, and he went in the middle lane, and the 93 had to check up just a little bit. And that made Ryan Patty check up as well, letting Brian Smith to his inside. Smith is going to take the position. He's now up to 5th. "36 laps remain as Purcell looks high on the leader. Can he get a run? No, he's got to check up. He got tight on exit, had to keep it out of the wall. Cody Neal, the only driver who took 4 tires on his last stop, and I think that's helping him defend this lead. Patty now back on the bumper of Brian Smith. I don't think that 30 car is done yet.
I don't think the 38 car is done yet.
All of these drivers giving everything they got 78 into the wall.
If Brian Smith can pull this off, 'cause right now he is back into the top 5. When we said his night has pretty much ended with that penalty way back at the end of stage number, at the beginning of stage number 3 here, I'm gonna be shocked.
So it's Cody Neal in first. Has led 27 laps so far. Looking to get 33 more as we are closing into the end of this race. Right behind him in second, Kyle Purcell. Trying to stamp his ticket into the round of 8. Third place is Patrick Colby. And that roll tide Alabama Ford Mustang. Then P4, at least for the time being, the Rocket Zach Lockett. And that Goat Racing Diecast 93 trying to hold off the one and only 78 of Brian Smith. He led 99 laps, picked up a black flag penalty for contact with McNeil. Had to drop back 2 laps down, and he is coming. Then right behind him, Ryan Patty. The 30 car. We've seen him spin 3 times without a caution, and he's recovered every single time, now in 6th. Trying to get his way to the inside of Lockett and keep up with the 78 as they're both moving forward. Behind them, Braxton Deweese. Jane's on main Ford Mustang. He needs a really solid finish to get his points. A win would make it a lot easier, but points could do it to keep him above the cut line. In 8th is Adam Ball. Having a great run. He's been up in the top 10 pretty much the whole night. I guess he's had to work a lot harder than that. Look at that. The 19 up and down from 20th to 3rd is currently running 8th. trying to get a finish. We've got 2 cars wrecked and another caution. It's Chris Camburn and Bentley Glazer. We didn't quite finish our run through the top 10. 9th is Kyle Gilbert. 10th is Cody Eldred. They're both having solid runs here to finish out the race. But right now, let's go back and see what happened to Chris Camburn. In the 88. Oh, just not sure he was expecting the 24 to check up like that. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Bentley Glazer cannot catch a break. Another wreck happens right in front of the 87, and he picks up contact. And this time, it's a meatball flag. That is going to hurt. Glazer already 2 laps down, sitting in the pits. That is going to end his run here tonight. Really unfortunate there for the 87. You can see he was running in the top 5 the whole first half of the race. And then it's caution after caution. Drags that 87 car down to where he is now in 19th. Charles Woods might be able to pass him here before the end of the race if Bentley stays parked. So probably a 20th place finish there for Glazer. And this is going to shake up the strategy as now the tires are worn enough that it's probably worth it to come down pit road. Cody Neal stays out again. Kyle Gilbert, the only other car staying with him. Everybody else coming to pit road. And I think that's gonna hurt Neal. Alan, that you do not want to be the only car up there, and it looks like John McNeil also stayed out. So Cody Neal, Kyle Gilbert, and John McNeil saying, hey, we're good on fuel. I'm not willing to get back into this hornet's nest. I want to stay out front with some clean air. But look out, because it's going to be Brian Smith, Kyle Purcell, Ryan Patty, and Braxton DeWeese all on fresh tires. But that whole group just taking 2 tires, Alan, I think they know something maybe some of the other drivers don't, is that usually taking 2 tires helps a car if it's tight. And I'm guessing in the final stages of this race, with this super low banking at New Hampshire, getting the car to rotate is going to be the key to the victory. Widener and Champion still in the pits. Extended stops for those drivers in 16th and 17th. I want to thank again everybody in the live chat for tuning in and engaging with us, letting us know who you're pulling for. Who do you think's going to win this one? Who do you think's got the tires? Who's got the gas? Who's got the speed? And are we going to see green flag racing from here to the end? My crystal ball says no. We've had 13 cautions already. 2 of those for the stages, so 11 wrecks that brought out the yellow flag, a number of wrecks that did not, and just 7 lead changes. So now Kyle Gilbert up to the front row beside Cody Neal, coming to the green flag out of turn 4. For the 14th time, the green flag is in the air. Cody Neal with another great restart there on the bottom. And Brian Smith already looking down low. 3 wide into turn 1 under McNeil. And the 48's got to be thinking, are you kidding me? Please don't get into me again. They're 3 wide now behind him with Purcell, Patty, and Smith. Gilbert holding on to second as McNeil dives low. Purcell on the high line, up in that really high groove. You got to watch out. Make sure there's enough grip up there. He does. He's getting a run on McNeil on the outside. Oh, and there it is. McNeil and Purcell into the wall. And the caution's out. For the 14th time. And McNeil... Again, I don't think he's going to be too happy, although he was the car on the inside that looked to drift up that time. Let's go back and take a look from the SRM blimp. Oh, it was contact from Patty that sent the 48 up the track and into Purcell. Wow. The drama continues. The intensity just ramps up every lap as we continue to close in. 23 laps to go. And again, McNeil, he got shipped for the third time tonight. What a race this has been. Let's run through some stats here to set this up. Brian Smith has turned the fastest lap of the race. He's running fourth. Braxton Deweese, the second fastest lap tonight. Patrick Colby, Ryan Petty, and Cody Neal all also in the 5 fastest that we've got. In terms of laps led, it was Brian Smith for 99 laps early, and Cody Neal has led 38 as he just stays out caution after caution and holds onto that track position up front. John McNeil and Ryan Petty leading 14 and 12 laps respectively, then Braxton Deweese with 10. Jonathan Duncan and Kyle Purcell also led a couple. Our biggest gainer is Cody Eldred, up 18 spots from where he started in 9th. Patrick Colby and Kyle Gilbert both gaining 11. As far as repairs go, it's been a lot tonight. Charles Woods with over 6 minutes. He is in 19th, 6 laps down, but still on track. Jake Champion with over 2 minutes. Kyle Diaz as well. Widener also over 2 minutes, but Champion and Widener are still on track and on the lead lap in 15th and 16th. They're in the pits right now getting a few more repairs done as we speak. And now we're up to 14 cautions with 41 laps pacing. What a race it has been. Pete Walsh says, wake up, Alan.
I'm awake.
Again, I'm not giving Alan any room to speak tonight. This is so much fun up here in the SRM booth tonight.
I'm having fun watching. I think we just got the preventing shots. I think they got a new one.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I think we got to do it. I've just been sitting here quietly watching you do your thing. You only got a handful of laps to go. Cody Neal, and look who's back up there.
Yeah, it's going to be 20 laps to run this thing out here. Kyle Gilbert has made his way up to the front row, and Brian Smith has made his way to third.
Everybody's a comedian. Hey, don't forget to join me as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. It's going to be Cody Neal and Kyle Gilbert bringing us back to Green Flag Racing. Cody Neal mastering restarts just like his teammate Brian Smith. But don't forget to join us all throughout the week here on Sim Racing Media and on YouTube as we got racing. Tuesday night with Chris Murphy.
Oh, there goes the car to the wall. Sorry, Al, it's Patrick Colby.
We stay green though.
He keeps it up. Brian Smith also smacked the wall pretty darn hard. Coming out of turn 2, it looked like he was trying to get a run on the 38 and put a little too much gas down. Now,
stay green.
Brock Hersey is coming to pit road, it looks like. Or maybe he spun down the entrance of pit road and then pulled back out on the track.
Where did Braxton Deweese come from?
Yeah, as we were watching that action, Deweese got around Smith. I mentioned he did smack the wall, and that might have slowed the 78 down just enough for Braxton Deweese to get to second. And Braxton Deweese just ran the fastest lap of the race. 29.27.
Wow.
A full 10th faster than Brian Smith, who had the previous fastest lap, 29.36. And the 3 fastest laps all day long belong to the 3 cars battling for the lead right now. Lockett and Gilbert are side by side for 4th. But Deweese is inching towards the front here as he's trying to catch that 38 car of Cody Neal.
Could we have another party on James on Main here tonight with Braxton Deweese?
We're going to jump on board with Braxton right now.
Oh, Ryan Petty showing crash. We're going to stay green. 13 laps to go.
Yeah, Yeah, I do see Patty is slow on track. Way back here. Battle at the front continues. I think I wasn't watching the penalty board, but I think Patty picked up an EOL penalty for his contact. Possibly with that, he did drop back towards the back of the field. And then let's go ahead and take a quick look. What happened to the 30 here? As he was racing back through the field, just got loose on his own, and then trying to keep it out of traffic. Had an issue. I don't think he picked up any damage though. So it's still Cody Neal, Braxton DeWeese, and Brian Smith. And if you're Braxton DeWeese, you got to remember these two are teammates, and Smith is already locked in. Not saying he's going to wreck you, but he is going to do everything he can to protect his teammate and also go for the win.
Just like a shark in the water.
Braxton goes
the power move to the outside.
Yeah, Braxton went down low. I thought maybe to try and maybe try to block it, but I think he was maybe just letting the 78 go.
All I gotta say is da-na, da-na, da-na.
He is coming.
I think Cody Neal's gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, so Cody Neal had dropped as low as 21st after that first caution, then fought his way into the top 10 and has stayed there for most of this race. Brian Smith led most of the first half of the race while Cody Neal was working his way up, and then picked up that penalty and dropped all the way to 20th. Now fought his way back to second. DeWeese has just kind of bounced around the top 15 as those cautions came out, and pit strategy had brought him back into the top 3. Lockett, similar story, up and down, avoiding some cautions, getting caught in others, and then making his way back up. He is in 4th. And Kyle Gilbert using some pit strategy right here at the end of the race to get into the top 5. Oh, Smith into the wall again. DeWeese.
Wait.
Oh, it looks Smith is having some. He does. He is drifting back now.
Oh no.
And he is using some of the road course there to make his way around to pit road, possibly.
Well, you know, as our good buddy Dave Regal says.
And now John McNeil has crashed. But we're still green. We got to go back and look at that. Why don't we grab DeWeese here and jump back? Oh, was it right here?
This is where he had the connection issue, right? There.
Smith smacks the wall, and then looks like the connection issue was all after the contact, at least from the 8's point of view, but that let Cody Neal kind of pull away on him. Now a second gap between Neal and DeWeese. And you can see there's damage to the front of the 8, Alan. He did not get away from that clean.
And, well, I hate to say it, but Braxton's going to need a caution.
And this is what happened to McNeil. Oh, it almost looked like he got a little bit loose, maybe, but they were 3 wide, and I don't think the 3 of them were going to make it out of the corner clean. So now DeWeese trying to hold off Zach Lockett for second place. 7 laps to go in the New Hampshire 201. Oh, we just got a hashtag free Neal. I think that was for John McNeil. No, a caution.
That's the caution that Braxton needed.
With 7 to go.
Kyle Gilbert involved. You know, this is going to set us up for it.
Right there, loose off of, I think that's turn 2, then locks it up. Oh, trying to stay out of everybody. Gets picked up by the 06. I think he might have made contact with Eldred as well. Holy cow. And just like that, this changes everything.
If I am Braxton DeWeese, I'm going to the local convenience store after this and buying a Powerball ticket. Because you cannot get that lucky.
Well, I mean, he's got damage, Ellen. This might be Zach Lockett's chance to pounce. I don't think the 8 has the speed left in that car to take advantage of this. And how many cautions is Cody Neal just going to stay out in the lead? It's been a lot. Neal has now led 55 laps. And I think all of them came in this run since he took the lead. He might have led a couple laps around lap 110 after the end of stage 2, but he has pretty much dominated here, just maintaining the lead the whole time. Nathan Finnegan checking in. I'm sure his calculator's got smoke rolling out of his. He tries to figure out if he's going to be able to make it into the next round. Again, Finnegan had a DNF last week, not able to race this week. So he's got his fingers crossed. Just a handful of these playoff drivers might have an unlucky run so that he can keep his hopes alive for another championship here.
Don't forget to join us here on Wednesday night. Or you can just join me on Wednesday night as we get ready to come back to Green Flag Racing. So Wednesday night is the Racers Elite Xfinity Series over on the Racers Elite Network and the Sim Racing Media YouTube or Facebook page. But it's also my birthday, so we're gonna have a virtual birthday party.
All right. Yes. Just a quick reminder on points. Both Cody Neal and John McNeil were drivers that came in below the cut line, needing either a really great run or a win. Braxton DeWeese came in with a little bit more breathing room. But it's Neal and DeWeese on the front row. Damage to the 8. The 38 on the oldest tires of anyone on the track. Got Adam Ball and Zach Lockett behind these two. 4 laps to go here in the round of 12.
No, 3 to go, and here comes the rocket Zach Lockett.
They're 4 wide as Ryan Patty is trying to make his way to the front, and DeWeese gets turned. Purcell gets turned.
No.
Eldred, DeWeese, Purcell, and the Ball all involved in that one. Let's go back and take a look. It started, it was Lockett and DeWeese getting together, and then hard contact to the back of the 8 car. As he tried to save it, the 95 gets into him. Ball down into the wall and then into the side of the 8.
I can tell you this right now. Braxton DeWeese is madder than a Keebler elf getting demoted to a Hutchbacker.
Woof. And guess who's still out front for yet another caution, yet another restart? It's Cody Neal. And track position has been absolutely king. So it looks like Adam Ball and Justin Bissonette both picked up meatballs through that wreck. John McNeil picked up a black flag.
Ryan Patty picked up 12th position.
And you know what it might be? It might have been that McNeil just hit the incident limit, Alan. There is a penalty at 24x because he picked up that black flag in the middle of that wreck. What a race this has been. And the 78 is still on track. No, I guess he left for, it looks like he's 5 laps down, but he is on the track, I believe. Maybe not. Brian Smith has parked it. There are now only 16 cars in the race. One of them's Adam Ball with a meatball. So heavy damage to the 19. There are only 14 cars on the lead lap.
Johnny can confirm that he did hit the incident limit. Nathan Finnegan, though, says if he can't be in the race, he's going to ride on Ryan Petty to go back to back.
And here we come for the 17th green flag of the night. It is going to be a green-white checker finish. 2 laps to go. I'm sure you already know how it works, but in case you don't, if a caution comes out on the first of those 2 laps, we'll line them up and do it again for NASCAR overtime. If there's a wreck on the second lap, iRacing's just going to let it go. Race back to the finish. Either way. Pace truck hits pit road. And Cody Neal's going to lead them back to green for the 17th time tonight with a great jump again. Ahead of Champion and Lockett. Ryan Patty is there too. He's already up to 3rd inside of Champion. Neal gets a great run off of turn 2. Patty looks like the car with the speed. And here he comes.
Here he comes.
Deep into the corner.
Oh, he gets loose.
And Cody Neal is driving away as Patty and Lockett continue to battle. White flag is out. Kyle Gilbert gets sideways out of turn 4.
It doesn't matter now. We're racing back to checkers.
And Lockett is holding on to 2nd ahead of Ryan Patty. They're side by side.
They're Goodyear to Goodyear. Here we go down to turn number 3. We're not going to worry about the front because Cody Neal's got that locked up. But here comes Ryan Patty. Cody Neal's going to win. Ryan Petty going to just take 3rd. Oh,
how about that drive by the Rocket, Zach Lockett? He had damage on the front of the car and held off that 30 car of Ryan Patty, who had one of the fastest machines all night long. Jonathan Duncan brings it home 5th. And John McNeil is 6th after all of that. And the black flag. McNeil able to get a 6th place finish. That's going to help him in the points. What a race.
That was fun.
Your podium again. Cody Neal of Buddy Motorsports, Zach Lockett of Adrenaline Racing, and Ryan Patty of Electric City Racing. And that's going to take us to our SRM burnout cam here with Cody Neal. Oh, we might have some complications seeing in the live chat that McNeil's black flag might have been cleared by mistake. And that's why he finished 6th. So the black flag now reapplied. I'm seeing it now on my timing board. We'll see what that does. That might send McNeil to the end of the lap he's on. That would put him in 14th place. Instead of 6th, we'll have to wait for all of the accountants to crunch the numbers after this one and figure out who actually made it past the cut. Did Finnegan make it?
Oh, man.
Did any of these drivers make it? I think the only drivers that know their fate are going to be Ryan Patty, Brian Smith, and Jacob Smith, because they had already clinched their way into the next round. Everybody else was within striking distance to either fall below the cut line or get above it. And with that, we're going to check in with our podium drivers, get some interviews, and hear what they have to say about the action we saw out there tonight.
So far, we just got Cody Neal in the waiting room.
We'll give him a second. If Neal's the only one we've got, we will talk to the race winner first. Well, it looks like the other drivers are taking their time getting over here. So we're going to check in with Cody Neal.
There we go.
Oh, we got Zach Lockett now. He's P2. There's Ryan Patty. All right, third place finisher, Ryan Patty in the 30 car. Ryan, you got a copy?
Is it over yet?
Holy cow. I mean, we saw you get sideways, I think, 3 separate times and not get a caution and then straighten it out. One of those times you were hard into the wall and then you just made it back to the front over and over. The number of cautions helped, but take us through your night.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever play Chutes and Ladders when you were younger, but that's what it felt like tonight. I kind of hit the wall on my qualifying lap, had to start at the back or far back in mid pack. And then, it felt like we had podium speed, maybe even speed enough to win. And every time we'd get up to the front, I'd make a mistake or something would go wrong and send me back into the pack. So I don't know, it was 3 or 4 times there I had to come up and through. And then at the end, it was just dumb luck that, the seas parted and I was able to get up there in the top 3. But yeah, I mean, love this track. A lot of fun to run it. I was lucky enough to not get any damage in any of the incidents that I had. It was all just, half spins. But yeah, I mean, congrats to Cody. he figured it out and kept it clean, and that was the key tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming off last week's win at Bristol. A couple times we thought this might turn into a fuel strategy race. But then in the closing laps, it looked like everybody was taking 2 tires, even when they didn't necessarily need to gain track position. Kind of talk us through how you decided how many tires and when to take fuel, etc.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2. It's always 4 for me. If I'm going to take them, I'm taking all 4. But when we got to the end there, I think it was I don't know. We had so many cautions toward the end, but we had one run that was like 25, 30 laps. And, I was kind of sitting behind Brian and Zach Lockett, and I couldn't make a move. And my speed really came in the long run. You probably saw that early in the race. I was able to get the car to rotate and not abuse the right front. But when we're all pushing hard with, 40 laps to go, I don't think there was really any good opportunities to pass. And that's probably why we saw all those cautions. So I took 2 just to gain as much track position as possible, but it looked like most everybody else did at that point. So that's why I was kind of side by side with Brian, and I got into the 48 there, causing another wreck. I felt bad for him, man. John McNeil was a ping pong ball tonight, but all I can do is apologize, and it's probably going to be a long line to do that.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a competition between Glazer and McNeil over who had the worst luck. Both of them seemingly involved in just about every caution there in the second half of the race. But a third place finish for you, and you had already clinched your way into the round of 8. So does this help build momentum heading into the rest of the playoffs for you?
Yeah, it definitely does. We get some really good tracks coming up. Kansas is a lot of fun. I really love racing there. Roval's kind of weird, right? We got to figure out, get some track time in and get some practice. And goals just to get to that final 4 round and have some fun at, what do we got? Homestead, Martinsville, and Phoenix. And those are great tracks for me. So I think we're in good shape. Tonight was checkers or wreckers. Tried to get through the field without making any contact. Unfortunately, like I said, I got into the 48 there, but I was glad to, if there was any misfortune tonight, it was solely on me for the most part.
Well, a P3 finish is nothing to feel bad about. So congratulations again. Anybody else you need to thank for your run tonight?
Thanks to the team. Obviously, we had a few folks in the chat tonight. Justin Bissonette coming back after a long hiatus, so it was good to see him out on track. Missing Finnegan. I think he had a wedding tonight, so we'll have to see how the points shake out. And I appreciate you guys in the booth, and appreciate my wife. I love you, and if she was watching, hopefully it wasn't too embarrassing.
Congratulations again. We'll see you out there next week.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, next up, our second place finisher, Zach Lockett in the 93 for you, Alan.
The Rocket, Zach Lockett. Welcome into the SRM booth. How's it going?
Hey, Alan. How are you?
Man, look at this. Top 2 here tonight after an eventful handful of laps. Take us through those last laps and what more you could have needed to get around that 38 car, Cody Neal.
Yeah, I knew it was pretty fast all night. Felt like I could hang around the back half of the top 10. found myself in that position towards the end to try to come away with a win. And I'm not sure how we'll have that scored with running into Deweese there. He kind of saved it, and then there was a big stack up behind him. And I don't know, just, I know I can come into this league every race and finish in the middle to the back half of the top 10. Wanted to try to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more, push a little bit harder to go for a win, but just didn't have the quite top end speed here in New Hampshire. The line, I ran a lot of AFIX this week, and the line I was kind of running was right around the apron up until like the first seam, and then back down with like my lefts right over the apron, and it just wasn't really hooking up as much as it was during the officials this week, and kind of had to shift my line throughout the race. And just really didn't have the very top end speed to get to the front. But you could guard pretty well on the outside, through both turns, really running like the third and fourth seam, and just get a better drive off than everyone. So just tried to kind of hang around there and hold everyone off. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But overall happy with the night. Happy to take a little bit more of an aggressive approach and more chances. And
Absolutely, good work. So before you get you out of here, who helped you get it done on that number 93 car?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to the league here. I mean, we're still up to almost 30 cars every race. You don't see that a lot within league play here when we get closer to the end of the season and the playoffs. It makes it a blast to come out every week. The competition's some of the best in iRacing. So really feel good when you can run around the top 5 and come home with podiums and those kind of good finishes. But got to give a shout out to all the Adrenaline boys too. John McNeil now just at this point with Nate not being here, John Ross not here, and Evan. McNeil had a hell of a season. Not sure where he's going to line up here points wise, but he just couldn't catch a break tonight. It was just getting run through. So shout out to him. Shout out to you guys for broadcasting every night of the every season, every race here. Really appreciate you guys. You guys have improved so much throughout the year, and it's always a blast to go back and listen to. And got to give a shout out to Goat Racing Diecast as well. Always on the car. Chuck in here with his diecast. Great place to go buy them. So really appreciate him. And we'll head out to Kansas next week.
And don't forget, you can hear the boss John Ross every Thursday night over on the Racers Elite Network.
That's right. Thanks, Alan.
Yep, you have a great night.
You too.
Next up, our race winner, Cody Neal, driver of the 38 Caterpillar Mustang. Cody, you got a copy?
I gotcha.
All right, how about that? I mean, I lost count of how many restarts you stayed out and stayed in the front, and 50 laps earlier I was worried you weren't going to make it on fuel. 7 cautions later, you're cruising to victory. Talk to us about your night.
My gosh, man, I was worried there when that first one came out and everyone pit. Fortunately had enough to make it to the end, plus all the overtimes. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I would have held on to it if all those yellows didn't come out, because obviously I was on older tires. But went our way and moving on.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty triumphant rebound. You were caught up in that very first caution, dropped all the way back to 21st, and then just drove your way back to the front through the middle of the race. Talk to us about the tire strategy. I mean, we know you stayed out on old tires at the end, but in the middle of the race, did you do anything to kind of ensure that you could get back into the top 5 and battle for the win?
I mean, I didn't really change anything throughout the night. I backed it up a little bit, but I feel like I honestly had great pace. And even though Brian had some connections issues, he said he couldn't pass me. So I don't know if that's just the dirty air or pure pace, but felt great to get back here in victory lane, be talking to you guys.
Absolutely. And you were one of the drivers that, you were not too terrible on points coming into this, but a win guarantees your run into the round of 8. So what are you going to have for them in the next round as you're heading towards that championship?
And hopefully we're just getting started here, and the rest of the boys at Buddy Motorsports can put in a couple more good performances, and we can all advance to the final round. That'd be amazing for the team and for all individual drivers.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned your teammates already. Anybody else you got to thank for tonight's victory?
You guys putting on this broadcast, admins hosting all these great events, man. This league is just top notch. And hopefully we can continue the great turnouts.
Yeah, and this was a heck of a race to watch from up here in the booth. So thank you and everybody else for the great racing. We saw a lot of door banging, a lot of just side by side 3 wide. We were 4 wide at one point, but you kept it out front there, I think, for the final 63 laps to end up taking the win. So congratulations again, and we will see you out there next week.
Thanks, guys.
And that was Cody Neal, winner here in the New Hampshire 201 with the Icon Cup Series on SRM. And with that, we're going to take a look at our final results. A lot of drivers knocked out here at the back of the field for issues earlier in the race. But it's Cody Neal, Zach Lockett, and Ryan Patty on the podium. Then Jake Champion, Jonathan Duncan, your top 5. John McNeil, Charlie Widener, Brock Hersey, Braxton Deweese, and Kyle Purcell, your top 10. Chuck Van Schaik, Cody Eldred, Patrick Colby, Kyle Gilbert, and Charles Woods, your top 15. Adam Ball, Justin Bissonette, and Brian Smith. There with Chris Camburn and Bentley Glazer in the top 20. Then Brad Delph, Robert Bloom, Kyle Diaz, Hanover Fist, Sean Purcell, and then Jacob Smith and Jacob Gladlich. Again, I think they were helping with race control more than starting the race here. Jacob might have turned 1 lap, I'm not sure, but either way, I think the one thing I've heard in the live chat since the race wrapped up and we did our interviews is that there are likely some penalties still to shake this up a little bit. Zach Lockett was involved in that last caution contact with Deweese. He didn't claim it officially, which means post-race, if he's found at fault, I believe that will move Ryan Patty up to second, Jake Champion to third on the podium. I also heard Patty mention that Finnegan is watching while he's attending a wedding, so I want to say congratulations to the newlyweds if they are watching. In my head, Finnegan's in the corner with his phone watching our broadcast, and the entire wedding party has joined him.
Hey, that's okay. I do that all the time too. If I go to a shindig and well, yeah.
Well, with that, we're going to take one more look at the schedule. This wraps up the round of 12, and it's going to be Kansas next week, 160 laps to kick off the round of 8, then the Charlotte Roval and Las Vegas after that. So we hope you can join us for those. As always, we appreciate you watching, and we will see you next week here with the Icon Cup Series on Sunday nights with Sim Racing Media.